This is Shaped for Law, a podcast series that plugs you into the world of legal technology. Join us as we cover news and trends shaping the legal industry.
Good morning. My name is Andy Lewis. I'm head of new business here at CTS, and welcome to the Shaped for Law podcast. With this week, we have a special guest on the podcast, Mr. Gavin Curtis from Town Legal. Good morning, Gavin.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Train delays, but
the perils of coming to London. And
such is life, right? Such is life. So, would you like to give a couple of minutes on yourself and just a really brief overview of Town Legal, if you like?
Sure. For my sins, I've been in legal IT for 25 years. Started some big firms, DA Piper, Hogan Lovells, etc. And sort of more working with bespoke boutique firms in the last couple of years. Town Legal. I've been here for 3 years. Cracking little firm, lovely aura, great culture, and very technology driven.
Very technology driven. That's an interesting way to put it. I guess we'll kind of jump straight into some of the questions and some of the specific things about Town Legal that makes you special. You have a catchphrase, less clicks. If you want to talk us through that briefly and kind of put some colour around that in terms of the listeners, what that means for you.
Less clicks make it slick. It just speaks what it is. You know, if we can make the working of their applications slicker, swifter, more efficient, they spend less time swapping between applications, the workflows progresses far quicker, more efficiently. And it's my mantra to sort of how I baseline applications coming into the system, whether we do a new system, bring in a new product, or we do an upgrade within that. It's one of the sort of benchmarks that I use to see, does it actually work for the user? Does it make them work quicker and better for the user? And ultimately, that's my goal, is to make sure the user experience is as seamless and slick as possible.
That's great. So what steps can firms take to enhance the user experience for staff in general, in the wider context?
I think the first thing to do is actually understand what the user wants to achieve, understand their work methodology and what their workflow process is. For example, recently we had some user training on quick steps in Outlook, where you can formulate a template for repetitive email functionality. And it's really, really improved the way people send their emails to account departments or to third-party other sources. One click and that email is there comprised. The old-fashioned way would be to involve 10 clicks, copy and paste it in, review, check and then send. We found that actually been very efficient with business service teams. And I'd like to add on to one more firm-wide improvement in terms of integration and less clicks, and that's our NetDocs to DocuSign integration. It's been fantastic. Right-click on that document, follow that DocuSign process through, done. It was previously, beforehand, I think it was 15 clicks to perform the same job.
And presumably in a prestigious boutique planning firm like Town Legal, having that efficient DocuSign process is actually very, very important. It can cut down hugely on the amount of administration.
It's fantastic. All our documents start in our document management system, they end up in the document management system, and nothing goes off-piste. It just keeps everything centralised. The client sign it comes straight back into where it's starting from. It's fantastic.
So that's great. So when assessing a new application, obviously user acceptance testing prior to users being live on the system is very important. And circling back to your first comment about less clicks makes it slick. How involved are the partners and the fee earners when doing user acceptance testing prior to launching a new application to the firm?
They're essential. Without their inputs, we don't thoroughly test the system for their aspects of what they may need to get out of the new application. It helps with the buy-in. If you can get some people from some business service employees, EA, and the fee earners as well, the partners, it just makes it inclusive, not only in the UAT, but when we go live, The good news is already spread through the organisation. They know what this application can do. They know the benefits of the application. And so when we do go live, it just makes the whole situation a lot easier.
Switching gears slightly to cybersecurity, so less of the fun stuff,
Yeah.
and more of the fear. What would you say is the biggest challenges facing the IT function at the moment? Obviously, the threat landscape has exploded recently, and regardless of the size of firm that you are, there seems to be no end of stories coming out in the media of high-profile hacks in both legal firms and barristers. So, what's your take on the cybersecurity threat landscape at the moment?
I'll firstly start on a positive note. I actually think the user's knowledge of phishing and malicious emails is as good as it's ever been. I think they're very aware, not only through our internal tech tip notifications that I send out, but I just think the general awareness is so much better than it was a couple of years ago. The problem we've got is it's shifting. It's a tsunami of different techniques, sophistications getting a lot higher, and it's just being aware of what could come through that link, that malicious email. But I think the first line of defence is the users. Regular training, regular awareness, just keep them up to scratch with, like, say for example now it's Christmas time, there are some seasonal themed malicious emails going around, and it's just making sure they're aware of what could happen, especially as we wind down at the end of the year. That's when we can get caught out.
We hosted a modern law roundtable recently, and when the cybersecurity or security in general subject came up, it shifted quite quickly from kind of the normal phishing type emails, etc., text messages. You have a parcel that's for delivery, could be delayed, click on here, that type of thing, to more of social engineering, especially with people being remote a lot. Is that something that you're looking into Town Legal in terms of red teaming, so trying to target specific people and seeing if you can understand their working habits and try and gain entry to the building or anything like that?
We've had a recent independent cybersecurity review, which actually brought up a couple of interesting points we've actually taken action on. Nothing mega urgent, but where we want to close those doors to those physical or virtual threats, we've taken action swiftly to eliminate those options. I think one of the benefits of how we operate is we do have a good antivirus system. We have continual endpoint protection, both for our laptop and office. But we also, as a regular notification and user training, just keeps it fresh in their minds. And we don't, as such, work off servers. We do, but we don't. We're on an endpoint, so a laptop. So we're not likely to get too much cross-contamination if one machine does get infected. Obviously, we've got the data on there, and that's precious, so we need to be careful of what's on there. But I do think we've probably got very good first-line support. I believe the Cyber Essentials assessment, which we do annually, also keeps us at the forefront of what's new and threatening in the cybersecurity world. And that's something that we will be doing again next year.
So in terms of cybersecurity, what new advances in threat detection and countermeasures have you put in place?
Well, working with CTS, we implemented a fantastic and well-received facial recognition implementation. It's called Windows Hello. It's built within the system, but we really enjoy using it. It's not replaced the password, but it works with 2FA and single sign-on. We've all got Service Pro laptops with a built-in camera. We pull down the lid, the camera automatically picks up your face, and we're logged in. It's fantastic. It's something we really, really enjoy using. The other features we've also brought on board with CTS have been endpoint protection, not only for the laptop but for Office. And we've also implemented a third-party 24/7 cybersecurity scan on our laptops, continually looking for threats and raising any alerts and notifications if required.
Okay, switching gears slightly. It's a well-known fact with IT professionals that uncontrolled change of an environment is the biggest cause of downtime. It isn't servers going on fire or any kind of act of God. It is actually changes being made to the environment without understanding the full impact of those changes. So maybe you can talk a little bit about how change management is done at Town Legal.
Change management is really important to us at Town Legal. We need to ensure that change for any system, whether it's small or large, is controlled, measured and tested thoroughly. We do have periods of change control that are off limits. And for example, 2 weeks before the end of the financial year, that's an embargo on any change, as well as the end of the year. And on a monthly basis, we have a self-imposed 5-day quarantine with no change control, unless it's an emergency. Well, saying that, we actually do thoroughly test when we are actually not implementing any live changes to the system. Those 5 days give us a great opportunity to test, to not affect the business through any adverse changes we may bring in that period, and to ensure stability continues throughout that month.
Fantastic. So wrapping up this edition of Shape for Law podcast, we normally ask the client about their journey to the cloud and how CTS are helping with that journey. Town Legal are very much a cloud-first company, so my understanding is that all of your applications and most of your workloads are in the cloud already. So maybe we can change the question to be, what will you be working on in 2023, and what changes can we expect from Town Legal?
We've gone through some fundamental changes since joining CTS. We've rewritten our IT environment for the better. It's definitely stronger, and the efficiency and usability of our system has greatly improved. For 2023, we will be introducing a new PMS, obviously a cloud-based PMS system with many integrations into aspects of NetDocs, for example. From a vendor perspective, we are looking to increase the integration with our applications. We would want to maximise the potential to, again, less clicks make it slick approach to keeping people within the application. Every time they've got to switch between the apps, they lose that workflow efficiency. It slows them down. It's not a process to actually maximise, certainly fee earners' time when working for clients. So we will continue to look forward to those improvements, as well as introduce our new PMS.
So thank you very much, Gavin, for your time. You're obviously a very busy man coming up to Christmas, so making the time available, we really appreciate it. And we look forward to hearing more about the fantastic things that Town Legal are doing in the market next year.
Wonderful, yeah. Thank you very much for your time and have a great Christmas.